This sexy little thing, the BUL Armory SAS 2 Ultralight 3.25 inch double stack 1911. You'll see our absolute first shots out of the gun. We'll test the magazines, see how they run fully stuffed. We'll do our trademark what's for dinner test to see what it eats. Then test the sights and trigger control on the spinner target, do some practical accuracy, and give you the concluding thoughts of two shooters coming up next on GB Guns.
Absolute first shots out of what Graham described as sexy. I'm thinking it's sassy.
We've got a reduced size torso at about 20 yards and 10 rounds of Blazer brass thanks to our ammo squared.
Okay. I was expecting it to be a little more snappy than that. Just given its size. And I missed all over the place. I'm gonna enjoy this review.
Really?
I was concerned about how small it is with, you know, the short barrel. They tend to be really snappy, but this is gonna be fun. It's
really lightweight too. That's the other thing that had me concerned, was short barrel, lightweight. That can sometimes be not fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna try it. Sorry, I don't know what the lubrication is that BUL Armory puts on these in the factory, but it smells nice when it gets hot. It's like a toasty engine kind of smell. Anyways, action is smooth. I'm gonna try playing with the safety, engaging it and disengaging.
Oh, I didn't do that.
My hands pretty much swallow this thing. Is it still controllable? Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, you're still getting the percussion that you do from a short barrel, but it's not trying to get out of my hand.
It's crazy how flat it's staying in your hand.
I am missing, but I think that's
because it's fun and you want to shoot faster and more.
Yeah, I was sloppy in my trigger control because I'm having fun with it. That is not what I was expecting out of something this small and light. Cool. Well, these magazines are a different pattern than the standard 2011. Oh, they're smoking. More of that factory lube. So next, let's see how it runs fully stuffed. Fully stuffed, I had 16 rounds in one mag and one in the other, giving us a total capacity of 17. Had to really push it. Wow, I can feel that weight. This gun is so light that just a few rounds of 9mm, you can feel the difference in the weight of the gun. I'm gonna try to burn this down, but not record speed, because I do want to figure out the trigger on this and get a little less sloppy with it. But let's see with Blazer brass 115 grain, how 17 rounds will cycle through this thing. I figured out my aiming point. No cycling issues. And I do believe this is the first 3.25 inch or 3-inch-ish barreled gun that I've run that through and not have my wrist hurt afterwards. Like, this is a really pleasant gun for how small and light it is. The next part will be interesting because BUL Armory themselves warns against using certain types of ammunition because of the energy required to cycle this gun, and people tend to limp wrist, so they have a narrow window of the ammo types. We're of course going to completely skip through that and do our regular what's for dinner. It's that time again. Thanks to our Ammo Squared supporters, patrons, and donators, it's what's for dinner time. As we move past this, you see the lightest load. This is 65 grain, and we're going up to, I believe, 165 grain today. Each of these rounds has a different pressure, recoil, impulse, different ogive location, overall loaded length, different case material, different projectile type and shape. So we want to see what will the gun eat. We're testing 3 rounds of each because we're looking to see, does it feed from side lock? Will it cycle another round of the same type for a second round? And the third round, just to reduce variables and see if it locks the slide open afterwards. Anything past that is just testing the magazine, very time and financially consuming. So 3 rounds, let's get to it.
So for circle number 1, we have the 65 grain. civil trainer from Liberty Ammunitions. That's a lead-free. Graham loves it when I do that.
The ammo's so light, it's hard to hold onto the box. Lead-free, non-toxic, ultralight recoil, allegedly.
Yeah. We'll see.
Oh, what do we have there? Looks like it didn't feed.
Yeah.
Mag now reloaded.
And it sticks out a bit. That kind of freaked me out. There we go.
But we did get slide lock.
Those, though, being a small weight grain, tend to be snappy.
How'd it feel in the BUL Armory SAS 2 Ultralight 3.25?
You know, not as snappy as it has in others.
Really?
At all. Like, I'm giggly about how pleasant this is to shoot, because given its size, I was dreading, not gonna lie, kind of dreading. Circle number 2, Winchester Super Clean. This is a zinc core full metal jacket, lead-free, 90 grain round.
Also very light for caliber.
Interesting.
Why'd you hit so low?
I have no idea. I was aiming center. My sight picture was good. The second one I pulled, but the other two I'm not sure why they're low. Center fires, 100 grain, next generation lead-free BUL ammunition for circle number 3.
No.
That has that very controllable rise and fall. Like, even though it was stout, I got a nice rise and fall out of it. Winchester silver tip. These are 115 grain jacketed defense hollow point. Defense jacketed hollow point.
I always wear a defense jacket when I carry.
Circle 4. Ooh.
I saw that.
Yeah, these are not my favorite rounds in any gun, to be honest. But they performed well.
I think
Not sure why I'm throwing a single shot of each.
To be fair, I think I saw tendon bounce.
A tendon bounce?
Tendon bounce, like the bouncing of the gun resettling. It was not mechanical. The action of the gun resettling, it was your hand kind of in shock.
Huh. That'll be interesting to see later. Blazer's aluminum case, 115 grain full metal jackets. These will be interesting for sure.
So we use aluminum and steel case as well as the nickel plated brass because they expand and contract at a slightly different rate than brass, which most guns are designed for. They also have a different friction coefficient within the chamber and magazine, which means some guns choke on it.
Coefficient, right?
Coefficient. It's two things being efficient together. No, it's the effect of one on the other.
Sometimes. Circle number 5. Ouch.
I don't know why the camera didn't want to focus that time.
Those caused uncontrollable flip in the front. It was bouncing against this thumb.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, and viewers, please comment your theories on this because I am not a material engineer or mechanical engineer, but my theory on that is if you've got different friction while the round is trying to extract because the material and its expansion is different than brass, then you're effectively having a different cyclic rate. And that might be what you were feeling, is the action moving faster or slower
That
or
would
something.
explain the pull up. Like I was not able to control the down, or to keep the front down with my thumb. It was pulling.
Circle 6 Wolf steel case, 115 grain. Interesting to see if we have a similar scenario. A 1911 that I can reach the slide release on. That's nice. Oh, spicy. I too hit a little low with this. When Tia was mentioning keeping the front down with the thumb, Tia, were you doing the same thing that I do of kind of sticking your thumb into that rail space?
I mean, that's what it's designed for, I thought.
Well, or for
I mean, that's
testing.
just where it comfortably goes.
Yeah, talking about here, but on this side, the thumb just kind of fits in there.
Maybe that's why I was feeling the rise of it a little bit differently than normal.
Yeah. Next is the Sierra Outdoor Master 124 grain. We ran this stuff in an interesting test of barrel length and energy, and the results were not what I expected, but you guys can check that out on GB Guns Depot if you want to read those numbers and get all sciencey with us. For now, let's see how this Outdoor Master runs in the BUL Armory SAS 2 Ultralight 3.25 inch. It's a long name. Spicy. And
Failure to feed.
feeding issue. This is not the same magazine that we had earlier, and I cannot tap it in, so I'm going to strip and reload, assuming that the round doesn't have any damage to it. It does not. Interesting though that both of our feed issues have been on the last round of the magazine. Man, those are violent rounds, and they were all over the place.
Still got slide lock.
Yeah, I should hope so. There was enough energy there.
Yeah.
Hornady Critical Duty 135 grain flex lock. These are nickel plated brass case. It still feels, I'm sure I'm going to make a lot of 1911 guys happier. It still feels easier for me to reach up with the support thumb to drop the slide.
And that one made it easy for me. Just the way it's designed, it was a natural process also.
Yeah, it's about a hand's length. I think I pulled that. Let's hope. Those are violent. Yeah, sorry folks. That first one is the one that's down on top of circle 9. Not shooting so hot today.
And the ejection, I'll say, is about 6 feet from where Graham is standing to my left. So
Pretty violent. Next is the Remington HTP High Terminal Performance Jacketed Hollow Point. These are 147 grain brass cased.
that was a mouthful.
Yeah, I'm still going with support thumb. And we're just going to ignore that hit that's just above the 9.
Woo!
Those group pretty well and smell a little like
Those
cinnamon.
smell great.
Our last load in What's for Dinner is thanks to our friends at True Shot Gun Club, the Ammo Incorporated Stealth 165 grain. Really heavy, slow stuff, meant for sub guns and suppressor use. Putting it in a short 9mm barrel. This will be interesting. I'm definitely, well, fairly confident this is one of those loads that BUL Army would recommend against. See if it runs. Oh, it's soft. Smoky. Smells a little like soy sauce.
Oh, interesting.
And hit low. I think that soy sauce smell is the combo of the grease that was in here and the ammunition itself.
Oh.
That is our 6-inch Titan Great Outdoors spinner target, and we're 13 yards away. We use this to test sights and trigger control because as you hit this small target at distance, it starts moving, and the more you hit it, the faster it moves. Our joy would be to knock it over the top. That requires landing multiple hits at just the right time. We're using the Blazer Brass 115 grain out of this short barrel.
Right?
Keep in mind that we are delivering a little less energy than one would want to. as you can tell by how little the thing's moving. Getting good hits though. High again.
Some of those are really high. Whoops.
Yes.
But I'm confident I could do it with this. With, you know, after learning the gun more, I'm thinking maybe we need a bigger spinner. I don't know. Though I know that would make it even more difficult to get over. This setup made that fun. And when it's fun, it's easier to do. And I landed more shots, I just didn't land them quick enough. So I would say this setup worked great for me.
All right, I've got 7 or 8 rounds here. Give it my try, keeping in mind that I was hitting a little low. And the sights are adjustable.
Competitor in me is always annoyed when you do so well.
Well, I will say that it's one of the few times that we've managed to get 2 loops without it falling apart, which is kind of neat. That target breaks down easily for transport. That's part of why we use it. But back to this gun and how it worked. That fiber optic is nice and fine. We've got a blacked out rear sight, makes it really easy to find the sight. You do have a very short sight radius. Of course, this is optics ready for people who like to cheat, but it wasn't that hard to do. And off camera, we were just saying, like, something this small and this lightweight usually is no fun to shoot. With this, it's no problem. The trigger brake is very definitive, and that made timing the shots easy. Other than that, it was just keeping control of a short sight radius. If we threw a dot on there, it'd probably be silly easy. Speaking of aiming and trigger control, next up is our accuracy test.
For accuracy, we're using Nosler's 115 grain ASP, their assured stopping power. It's a jacketed hollow point. Do I understand that this is what replaced their match ammo?
Yes, and should be loaded to the same Nosler standards of match quality, so that's why we're using it.
Aiming at the left circle square.
And for folks who are new to the channel, that square is 1 inch from 7 yards, it's typically about the same size as a front sight post. That's why we use it for this part of the test.
Oh. Do I have one more?
Yep.
I do not, but I did not get slide lock.
Oh, interesting. Nosler's usually spicy. And for those of you at home counting, that is the 12th type of ammunition we've run through this gun.
I'm so bummed.
And if you hadn't thrown that
first one,
if you hadn't thrown that first shot, that would have been a great group. 5 shots from 7 yards with the Nosler ASP 115 grain. And yes, folks, the rear sight is adjustable on this, and we will quite possibly be adjusting it after this, but we like to run everything with run the whole review with the same setup on the gun, so there are no extra variables in there.
Yes. I mean, I wasn't hoping for that, but I'm secretly excited.
That snuck up on me.
We're doing comparatively the same.
So I couldn't quite hear what Tia was mumbling over there. But it appears we just had the same experience.
So most compact guns that we have visited are inexpensive. And I don't know if that led to them being unpleasant or not, but definitely the quality that went into this gun made it an extremely pleasant shooting experience for the size. I don't recommend many compact handguns as a self-defense tool because the discomfort for me does not allow enough time with that gun for it to be a safe option. I would not hesitate for a moment to take this to a course and get safer and trust this as a defense tool. It is just, it just feels so nice. Like
you totally stole what I was gonna say. Is it's so common, and we've been to a lot of courses between the two of us and a lot of courses together, and what you often see is folks show up at a course with a gun that's comfortable to take a course with, and it's not necessarily their carry gun. I totally get that. The mags aren't fun to load, it's too snappy, yada yada yada. This is a gun that I'm seriously considering as a carry option, and just like you.
Or the opposite of that, where someone shows up with their carry option. That was the gun they had, that was the gun they bought, this is what they have, and they don't want to continue on in that course because they're not having a good time. Their hands are uncomfortable now, the mags aren't easy to load, the recoil isn't controllable, and you know, I personally had to talk people out of wanting to make the decision to quit a training course because of the weapon that they were kind of forced to be able to have based on the rules in their state. So yeah, this is fun.
It's a do-all. The pricing might, when I looked at the price, I was like, wow, that's a range gun and a carry gun. But it is. So yeah. I think it's fair. Off camera, Tia just had a reflection that might be accurate, because we're laughing at the fact that when we did our groups, we both threw the first shot low, like an anticipation trigger mash kind of bad habit. And then once we realized that this gun isn't trying to jump out of your hands, we relaxed and shot great groups. And it might be a little muscle memory after, I don't know, we've reviewed together, I think 200 handguns now, maybe 300. Typically when it's light and short sight radius, hold on, because it's gonna try to jump out of your hand. And maybe we've got muscle memory burned in, and so we're ready for that on this thing, and then we realize, oh no, it's good. Said it during Tia's after shots, I'll say it again, this is certainly sized and appropriate for carry.
It's so handsome.
But the shooting personality of it is appropriate for running a course or training with, which is very rarely found. Usually you have something that's great for comps or training, not so great for carry because it's too big or too heavy or something like that. Or you go the other way around, and BUL Armory has really found a way to marry the two with the SAS 2 Ultralight 3.25. It really makes me wish we could get our hands on a 4.25 inch, but that is a long wait. I addressed in the tabletop part of why these things are hard to get a hold of and why they come to market slowly. BUL Armory has quite a process to go through in building these things, but man, is it worth it.
If you get a 4.25, we could have his and hers.
That's true. We just need to measure 114 to get killed. Anyways, spectacular gun. Thank you to our patrons who suggested looking into BUL Armory. And I also want to thank David at the Humble Marksman for helping bring some light to this brand that otherwise there wasn't a lot out there. If you haven't seen his reviews, he hits the competition side of things and has covered quite a few BUL Armory models and done a great job of it. Thank you for watching.